Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. We have tonight with us Martin Huberty, who has been gracious enough to give of his time to prepare a presentation to the City Council regarding the Visitors Bureau. So thank you, Martin, for being here with us tonight, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor Clemente and honorable council members. My name is Martin Huberty. I'm the Executive Director of the Calaveras Visitors Bureau and Film Commission. I also serve as the Executive Director of the Angels Camp Museum. I'd like to start with just giving a shout out to Jessica Johnson, who unfortunately isn't with us right now, but she is the bomb, and I couldn't do what I do without her. And she has been the glue that's kept everything, and she's integral to everything that gets done, and she deserves every accolade that we give her. So let's get started. MACT, what a wonderful addition to the city. Visit California is very bullish about Native American tourism, and we are doing a lot of work together with them this year. We have a great working relationship with Christopher Mandel, and that's such a boon for us to have the museum, 2 museums in our city. Visit California is very excited about it. We should see a lot of work from them coming for us. I'd also like to thank the city, Public Works, admin, and all of you for all of your help this past year, especially with the tree work the city did at the museum last year. I called Steve, and we had a big problem with the big giant sequoia, and you guys were there, you cleaned it up, and actually after these storms this year, it's been fantastic. We haven't had nearly the problems that we did last year, and no big branches have come down. Also, 2 points I don't want to forget to mention. The CDB and the city agreement was updated in 2023, and I think we're good there. But the CDB and the city operations of the museum contract needs to be renewed and updated. There's some old verbiage in there regarding the museum commission, which needs to be edited, and the current insurance liabilities, etc. Who knew that 5 years would go by so quickly? It wasn't a new idea to put the CBB and the museum together, but I'm so happy we acted on it. Melissa Eads and I thought that we would sit down after signing the contract and review it 6 weeks later to see what we were doing. That never happened, and here we are 5 years later. My goal going into this partnership was to run the museum as a business and have less dependency on the city. The museum will always be at the bottom of the totem pole of priorities with the city, which is totally understandable. Police, fire, water, sewer, all come first. We need to run more independently. The best part of this agreement is that we get admissions and memberships in that partnership. We've been able to deal with a lot of the infrastructure maintenance and exhibits maintenance because we put the money right back in the museum, and that's been a key part of the deal. Secondly, I wanted to be open 7 days a week. I think it's critical that we're known for always being open. Plus, going on my 7th year, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to how our guests visit. One Tuesday we'll get 2 guests, the next Tuesday we'll get 25 or 30. The important thing is that we're here whenever they need us. I have part-time employees, at the museum: Staria Stein, Susie Barnett, Chuck Schneider, Jordan Clerk, and Nathaniel Johnson. I have 1 archivist there this year, Noah Berner, thanks to you. I have 5 volunteers, 3 docents, Tim Chisholm and Ernie and Ian Jones, Colette Scales, who assists Noah with files, and Teresa, who assists Noah with identifying textiles. It's an awesome team, and like I said before, we never do it without our den mother, Jessica. We had 30 groups, museum field trips, go through this year, a total of 1,277 guests. The Michelson exhibit and the Calaveras County Office of Education have been fantastic. Top notch. We've had just a ton of kids through. Admissions for 2025 were just under $70,000 with 5,137 visitors. Curation of exhibits, over the time that we've been there in total, we're around $65,000 in grants, and we've created 12 new exhibits. Admissions have paid for things, mainly for museum wages, but things like termite mitigation in the mining and ranching building this year, building and exhibit maintenance, security updates, landscaping, utilities, pest and weed control, insurance, and bookkeeping. The list goes on. You might have noticed the Altaville Schoolhouse, the shutters and the sign are gone. We're currently updating those. We also have some window work that we've got to do because there's been some rot. There are many unforeseen incidents, and like the conference room flooding. Another good example is the roof insulation in the main building. I kept going to our Angel Sheet Metal saying, why isn't this system working? And they said, well, you don't insulate the ceiling. It's like, wait a minute. When it's on heating, we're fine in here. When it's on cooling, it's 110, when it's 110 outside, it's 108 in here. They said it's the insulation. I finally listened to them. We paid $9,000 to get it insulated, and now the system works perfectly. So yeah, learning a lot here. We have wonderful partnerships. We work closely with the Clampers, with the CCF, with the CCOE, ACPA, and the Farmers Market. We did a reception this year for TFIT. We do a lot of events at the museum. We did one with the Calaveras Ghost Hunters, which was hilarious, with people trying to talk to the artifacts. We do Teachers' Nights Out, and of course the Angels Camp Museum Foundation, which have an upcoming speakeasy event, February 1st. Tickets on sale now. Debbie, Dave, you see that? I want to talk to the city about moving the postmistress's house, which is that White House at the Swendeman property. Phil Joy is, we tried several times. Where's Amy? There. We've tried several times to do this. The main idea is to give us more exhibition space at the museum. At the moment, we have so many more artifacts that we could be displaying, and to bring this house from the Swendeman property and put it on the museum and to dress it like an 1880s house so that people could walk up and look in the windows and see it all dressed would be phenomenal. The cost keeps going up every year that we don't do it. We've had 2 companies come out and give us bids, but this third guy, Phil Joy, just did the Douglas Flat Schoolhouse. He raised it, they put in the new foundation, and he's lowered it. He's looked at the school, I call it the schoolmistress's house. Some people call it the drug house, I don't know, whatever. It's an 1880s house, and it would be a phenomenal exhibit. Phil Joy would want to take the roof off and move it, not do the wires, Amy. That was a huge expense as well. But I really want to get a feel from the council as to your feeling whether we should do this or not. The moving costs right now are about $50,000. We couldn't build it for $50,000, but again, to move it, I think it would be a wonderful thing. Having said that, there are also infrastructure things that I would like to talk to the city about. Actually, I left it in the car, but I have a piece of the roof. I don't think the roof on the main building has been looked at in 40 some odd years. We just had a roofer come out and look at it. It's time for that to get done. He bid about $16,000 just to replace the roof on the top building. But again, I'd like to talk to you this year about that. I want to thank you for supporting Noah Berner, the archivist, of the position this year. Noah began working at the Angels Camp Museum on December 26, 2023, and since that time he's worked a total of 2,425 hours and accomplished the following. He's located and scanned over 5,000 donation receipts, catalog cards, worksheets, and deeds of gift. They are now searchable by keyword on our database. Using Catalog IT, he has cataloged and inventoried 5,935 objects. For context, when he began work at the museum, there were only a total of 1,962 objects entries in the catalog. Most of those had to be fixed, and most of them were incomplete. With a few exceptions, he's completed an inventory of the objects on display in the carriage house, archive room, upper museum, museum grounds, and an inventory of the storage areas of the carriage house has been completed with the exception of documents, photos, and books. He's currently working on the inventory of objects displayed in the mining and ranching building. The completed value estimates on 4,545 objects, the total value being $543,987. So this work is important to know the value of actually what's in those buildings. In this fiscal year, July 1st to 2025 to January 2nd, 2026, he's cataloged 2,404 objects, which is really good. It means he's moving faster. And so he feels that he can complete the inventory of the bulk of the objects on display in the museum by June 30th, 2026, which is what you gave him.
Wow.
Cataloging has involved recording at a minimum the following information. He puts in the accession number, the object ID number, the donor information number, physical markings or taggings, the description, photographs. He puts down the condition, the location, physically locating the object, and in what area it's in, and then searching the museum records for information about the object, cataloging the object, and updating an object entry in Catalog IT. When I came to the museum, it was probably 25 years ago, I wanted to know what the Hubertys left. And at the time, the museum director said she had no way of knowing. Going through the files, we were able to find a lot of those donation slips. And it's really funny because down in the mining and ranching building, there's an old egg incubator, and I'm like, I know that egg incubator. And I was like, yeah, there must have been a million around. And sure enough, when Noah went through the files, it was on the Huberty Ranch. And I grew up with that on the back porch. So it was very cool. So now onto the Visitors Bureau. We partnered with Visit California, who is the premier travel marketing organization for California. Actually, before I jump off, are there any questions regarding the museum? Okay. So we partnered with Visit California, who's the premier travel marketing organization for California. According to their studies for this year, younger travelers, especially Gen Z and millennials, are driving growth, many taking 2 or more holidays per year. AI, social media, and digital tools are increasing, shaping travel inspiration, planning, and booking. Over 60% of younger travelers now use AI-based tools when planning trips. We've mainly marketed to boomers in the past. That's changing. There's also a push toward moving more spending on experiences, reflecting priorities around authenticity, wellness, and meaningful escapes. Wellness travel, holistic rest, and mental health-oriented trips continue to rise. Solo and social travel. More people are traveling solo, seeking connection, meeting new people on the road. Hugely important. They really do promote road travel more than anything. And we belong to the Gold Country Visitors Association, which is everybody from Sierra down to Madeira. And we meet usually once every other month. And we normally meet in each other's counties so we know what's going on. But we really we help promote the Highway 49 corridor. And I know you all know that Archie Stevenow, who was from Angels Camp, is the one who created Highway 49. Travelers are increasingly choosing accommodations as a core part of their trip. Design-forward hotels, unique stays, glamping, boutique inns, and heritage properties are influencing destination choice. Multi-generational or group trips are resurging. Families or friend groups are traveling together, combining luxury, comfort, and shared experience. Our transient occupancy tax is the best way for us to know that we're doing our job. We're putting heads in beds. For the fiscal year 2024-25, in the city, we were down $200,000 over the previous year. And I put that figure mainly down to Worldmark closing for their remodel. They are our largest accommodation and a wonderful resort, and they just completed their major upgrades. The county made just over what we anticipated and closed the year with just over 2.7 million in TOT, which was on a par with the previous fiscal year. Visit California reports that after the rebound in 2024, the two pre-COVID numbers in tourist spending, they expect the number to drop substantially for 2025. They expect to lose 900 million statewide in tourist dollars. Wow. Visit California numbers for 2025 from Dean Runyon will come out in April of this year. They normally post towards the end of April. They project a significant drop off in international visitation to the tune of 9.2%. International tourism, especially from Canada, has dropped off significantly. I don't know whether you all saw that Vegas is down $4 billion alone just from Canada visitors. International tourism, especially from Canada, has dropped off significantly for the state, and we have seen a major drop off in our international visitors. We normally would have a slurry of people come through because they do the 2-week, a lot of the people that we know from the UK will come do a 2-week tour from San Francisco to Lake Tahoe to Yosemite, and they usually stop with us. We haven't seen that at all this year. I don't think it's going to hurt us as badly as in our urban areas, but because it just isn't the majority part of our business. I'd like to give a shout out to Darren Mills and his crew at the marina this past summer. He made it work with setting up the quarantines needed for preventing the golden mussel infestation. It wasn't easy, but he got the boats on the water and saved summer for so many. We're not out of the water, no pun intended, with this, but it's going to be another year dealing with this. And so we're meeting with Darren this week to help put promotional packages together for visitors this next year. We'll create itineraries that unite with local businesses who give incentives to our guests. Another shout out I'd like to give is to the Forest Service. Due to the cuts in federal funding, they weren't sure they were going to manage to open any of the campgrounds this past year, and they did it. They did it with 5 people where they normally would have had 20. Wow. And all these campers, they get about 2,000 people up the hill camping every season, come through Angels Camp. As we know, the wine industry, I'm not even going to go into the wine industry at the moment, has really taken a hit this past year. We work closely with the Wine Grape Alliance, and it remains to see how we rebound. Another issue I'd like to point out in last year's Visit California report is a continual decrease in direct employment in the hospitality sector. We constantly have a problem with this. We were down 6.4% in 2024. The lack of affordable housing is a major factor for this decline. We're banking on Eureka Oaks taking some of that burden away. So thank you all for making that happen because it's a huge problem. I was just looking for a friend who wants to come and rent a place on the Upper Highway 4 corridor. You can't find anything. I mean, everything is turned into an Airbnb, and I don't understand how we can, continue this way without being able to house our working families. Our marketing campaigns have been strong. Of our overall budget, we spend 65% of the money we receive on direct marketing. The balance is 33% is for payroll and 2% in overhead. In-person market give us the most satisfaction. The importance of direct contact with our visitors allows us to show them the wonders of angels in Calaveras and how best to spend the time that they have with us. When we get our visitors at the museum, we get them for 2 hours. And before, when we were downtown where the pickle porch is, we would get people for 5 minutes. Now we get them for 2 hours. And all of our museum employees are actually CDB employees and vice versa. And so it really works very well. Where have I left off? Sorry. The main Welcome Center, as you know, is open 7 days a week from 9:30 to 4:30, and the Welcome Center at Murphy's, we've cut to winter hours of 4 days a week from 10 to 4. The CDB personally greeted over 14,000 visitors this last year. And I put this down to the film business. I mean, and you know, if somebody tells you they've seen a great movie, that's gonna probably sway you more than anything that you see in a newspaper or magazine. It's the same when you come to visit a place. If you have that personal connection, it's fantastic. And we started using our blogs and putting our blogs out we have 24,000 emails that we send out. And we've just gotten nothing but the nicest responses back, and it's people saying that they want to come back. And I'll show you some numbers too later that indicate that. Our visitor's guide, this is the new one this year.
Oh, wow.
And this is our calendar. I'll give you all these. I was always taught never hand out anything before you speak, because otherwise everybody will be looking at it and won't listen to you. Our visitor's guide is an important tool for our in-person visitor interactions. The guide focuses on where to eat, where to stay, where to play in our city and county. We print 50,000 copies that are distributed at our visitor center, local hotels and businesses, and throughout our distribution network provided by our vendor-certified folder display. We have guides supplied in key areas all over Northern California, and we get about an average of 80,000 copies downloaded from our website. The participants in the guide and all the costs of production and distribution, besides the time it takes us to create them, are all paid for by the participants. So there's no tax dollars really that go into it beyond our labor to actually make the phone calls to get people in it and get them to pay. We use a company called Big Behavior to monitor our website. We just updated the look and functionality of our website to make it more user-friendly. I will be redoing the video at the beginning. It needs to be updated, but I'm going to wait for some better weather and springtime to get a lot of that footage. We also hired them this past year to update and track our SEO, which drives people to our website. This has been a really positive move, and they've been doing a great job. Our viewership is up on a monthly basis. We are also contracted with Placer AI again this year. I'm trying to negotiate. Our contract is up right now, but our fiscal year starts in July, so I'm trying to just span it for this year because we had less money to work with this year. But Placer AI acts as our data collection agency. They track our visitation by visitors' mobile phone usage, or their mobile phones. And they don't even have to be turned on, they still ping. The service allows us to accurately count how many people come into the county, where they visited, how long they stayed, and where they came from. We can target individual markets and zip codes with our marketing dollars so they're spent more effectively. It is a bit like Big Brother's watching you. For example, I know the Best Western and Travelodge see over 10,000 guests a year, just over 10,000 each, with a return rate of 3.47. Worldmark sees just under 50,000 guests per year with a 4.94 return. I know where they come from, how long they stayed, and their approximate income and ethnicity. Steve, I've worked with the other CAOs with this tool, and I would love if you'd like to work with me to come up with some reports for the city. Because where it's really effective for the city is to see where people are leaving and what they're buying, and what we need to bring in to town as far as shops, what have you. We brought our social media marketing back in-house. Our numbers are up. We just have over 60,000 followers on Facebook and 9,400 on Instagram. One of the hardest parts with us was social media, and that's why I originally, when we came out of COVID, hired a San Francisco company to take over, is we get a lot of local comments. And you really have to monitor them, because some of them can be very negative, and it's like, no, we're, it's always a game, but it seems to be doing very well, and we're doing well with our social media and with our email blasts. We had a stream of travel influencers through. These travel writers come vetted through both Visit California and our PR person, Jennifer Sweeney at the Gold Country Visitors Association. Everyone we have come through is completely blown away by the county as well as the city, and the museum always gets its marks. So that's fantastic. And now that we have MAC, that's going to be even better. Did a lot of print ads in the last year. We did a page spread with National Geographic UK, Local Getaways, which is in the Bay Area, Sacktown Magazine, we were doing on their quarterly, Yosemite Journal, which is our biggest, and we also get leads from the Yosemite Journal. We're in the California Visitors Guide, and we also advertise with NorCal, which services 13 Northern California top newspapers. We continue to advertise by radio with NPR, which has been very successful. We also see a big role in helping to market the county. I mean, events are what bring people into our county, and we want to keep continuing to participate in helping people market and support these events. We do the Calaveras County Frog Jump, Jumping Jubilee, Irish Days, Grape Stomps, Spring White Weekend, Homecoming and Murphy's, the Angels Camp Christmas Parade, Airport Days, Cajun Festival, Celtic Fair, Winter BMX. It goes on and on. I think it's really important to try and promote and help as many people do these events as possible, because that's, again, why people come into Calaveras. Calaveras Film Commission created the Forest and Fire Film Festival at Bret Harte this last year, which was really fantastic. The festival brought speakers and panelists from all over California, as well as we were able to showcase meaningful films, which showcase the causes and ways to prevent catastrophic fires. I tried to poach, also in the film world, I tried to poach Ang Lee. I don't know if you remember Ang Lee. He did Brokeback Mountain, Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger, or Crouching Dragon.
Hidden Dragon.
They were filming, or they were getting ready to film in El Dorado and Placer, and I got hold of the location guide. I brought him down here. The Tryons, Discornias, and the Fallendorfs all helped with showing ranch property and trying to get them. Ultimately, it comes down to the expense of bringing a whole crew and housing a whole crew. So they ended up staying there. We also tried to get the Leonardo DiCaprio film, which is just out now and is touted to win the Oscar. He was filming in Stockton and Sacramento, and they loved the Highway 4 corridor, but once again, housing a large crew was limiting for them. We did have a small film that shot up the hill, and they're just editing now, and they're going to get it to the Berlin film market here in the near future. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll do something. The CDB has a great board of directors. We're looking for 3 new board members. We'd like to focus on people who are directly involved in a business that caters to tourists. At the moment, we're looking for more representation from the city. We had Betsy Utley from Wyndham, and hopefully we'll get Jim, the new GM, on board shortly. We're just letting him sort of settle in to be on our board. But if you have any suggestions, if you could let us know, I'll let the board president know. And I'd just like to conclude by saying the CDB strategy going forward into 2026 and beyond is to maintain a delicate balance between our visitors and locals and create an awesome getaway for our visitors without disrupting the residents' quality of life.
Wow.
So are there any questions?
Wow.
I did have a question about the AI visitation in Calaveras County. What was that number? Did you give that overall arching number of how many visitors we had last year?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at it again.
I mean, it was always like 700,000. I'm like, it's a lot.
We're the city, if you look up on the city on the site, please, it's 153,000 is what they say came into the city.
Came into the city.
And how long they stayed and where they came from, I can give you all that information. I just need to break down it in reports. So if you want to let me know what you want, I can create whatever.
Right.
Yes.
Have you started putting anything together about moving that house, seeking private donations?
Yeah.
I haven't asked for private donations. I first want to know, I mean, this is a city-owned property and it would be city-owned. I would want to make sure that you guys wanted us to do it before we did anything. I know that when we first started talking about this, the council said yes, but that was how many years ago?
Just last year and a half ago.
Yeah. Okay, well, it started long before that.
And we gave a small budget
I thought
towards it too.
we did give you-
You allocated 60,000, I believe, to the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there was work that was done by Brad Sutton at the museum. He moved a piece of foundry equipment, and then he built a road behind the pole barn. But that's all been done. So, Scott, I would. I mean, if the council would like this and we need to raise money to do it, then I would like to do that. I do think some of the infrastructure things, and that's what I would like to talk to the council about, i.e. the roof and new gutters on that building are really important.
You're talking about the main building?
The main building. Yeah, the others are all steel, so they're fine for the moment.
I wonder if you can get local people to volunteer the services too.
True. Well, no, and Brad has been really good to us, so yes. We need to look at it. And again, I'm throwing it out there because finally it looks like we have somebody who would be willing and able to do it. And you know, Amy and I have been here before, and then they just disappear on you, and these two
I wonder
other
if
companies.
Habitat would be able to help us in some
That's an
capacity.
idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is also we need a foundation. So this is just for moving it.
Right.
And then
Right.
we would need to bring it back down onto something.
Yeah.
And they always say to move it and then put it down. Don't build the foundation and move it, because it's not going to be square. So you got to get it in place and then put it down onto whatever you built.
Be neat though if you could get like local contractors that would do like the cement work and like volunteer, you know,
Yeah.
donate.
Like
Okay.
old fashioned barn raising.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if what I'm hearing is that's the way the council would like to go, then that's the homework that we'll do. And we'll find out and come back to you, and hopefully we can get a lot of I mean, the hard part is sawing off the roof and a crane, and I'm sure that we can figure out somebody to do that. And then if we can get local law enforcement to escort the building as it goes down the road. I also have to work with the church in taking down the fence in order to get it down the road to the place where we'd like to put it. But yeah, I definitely could put that together, and we could start asking who could actually help. I think the foundation will probably be the easiest thing, but the actual physical moving, I don't know that I'm going to get away with.
Oh yeah, I wasn't talking about that. I meant
Yeah.
like the other work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And the reason I like to see you look for private donations also is just to get some kind of gauge of public interest.
Perfect.
And it's one thing to sit up here and say, yeah, why not? But if
Yeah.
it's not something that's important to the public, then
Yeah.
maybe that's a why not.
You know, what I would say is that every exhibit that we've done has added to the museum experience. So, and I see that this would add in the same respect. I mean, we would be showcasing so much more of what we have to show that we can't show at the moment because we just don't have the space.
And we do have some matching donation from Mike.
Yes, that's Mike Fullaway did say that he would give us the cost of what it would cost him to tear it down. I mean, again, this is all so old, we would have to revisit all of it.
Yeah.
But I
Right,
wanted to bring it
yeah.
up because Phil Joy just talked to me. I just saw him at the Douglas Flat Schoolhouse, and he said, "Are you still interested?" And I said, "Well, let me check." Because, I mean, the museum would be interested. I have talked to everybody that works at the museum, and they would be excited to work on it. So from that aspect, we're ready to go. So I'll come back to the council with the idea.
Good, thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Any comments from the,
My name is Christopher Buttner. You've met me before. I've been before the council. My website is calaveras2026election.com, a government accountability blog. On August 12th, I made this same statement before the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors. On August 15th, it was a letter to the editor that appeared in the Calaveras County News. And I will read it again, since after listening to Mr. Huberty's presentation, I'm surprised how evergreen my comments are. Questions concerning transparency and accountability were recently posed to the Calaveras CEO, County Council, all 5 district supervisors, and the Executive Director of the Calaveras Visitors Bureau. These questions pertain to the CVB, its Board of Directors, and its Executive Director, and the CVB's annual allocation of funding of hundreds of thousands of dollars from Calaveras County's transient occupancy taxes. It is well established that the CVB changed its legal designation from a public benefit nonprofit corporation to a mutual benefit nonprofit corporation in July 2021. Not established or explained is, why and for what benefit did the CVB change its legal designation from a public benefit nonprofit corporation to a mutual benefit nonprofit corporation in July 2021? Who instigated the change? Why did the CVB persistently fail to notify Calaveras County's government of its nonprofit corporation's changed legal designation? Why does the CVB perpetuate its misrepresented funding agreement with the Calaveras government under the pretense of the CVB being a public benefit nonprofit corporation when in fact the CVB had changed its legal designation to a mutual benefit nonprofit corporation in July 2021? Chairperson Martin Huberty is the individual best positioned to respond to these questions, since in addition to him being the District 3 Supervisor, he concurrently serves as the Executive Director of the CVB, legally burdening him with the administrative responsibility for ensuring accuracy and truthfulness of the CVB's records. Other troubling unanswered questions include, why did Calaveras County experience a staggering reported combined loss of 420 tourism jobs between 2023 and 2024? A reported loss of $4.6 million in direct earnings from tourism between 2023 and 2024. Who at the taxpayer-funded CVB is responsible for ensuring timely publishing of the CVB's annual budgets, which are absent from public view since 2018, or ensuring timely publishing of the Board of Directors' agendas, absent from public view since June 2019, or the Board of Directors meeting minutes, absent from public view since November 2024, or ensuring transparency by publishing accurate and timely bylaws instead of having stalled for 3 years, only then to produce and publish erroneous bylaws for a mutual benefit nonprofit corporation. Thank you. Hello again.
Please state your name for the record, please.
My name is Christopher Buttner, publisher of Calaveras Watchdog, formerly Calaveras 2026 Election.com, a government accountability blog. I appeared before the City of Angels City Council 3 times during autumn 2023 on October 3rd, October 17th, and November 17th. November 7th, I'm sorry. The majority of you were not yet serving on the City Council at that time, so my message now requires repetition to ensure that you are accurately informed and may take appropriate corrective action accordingly, because regrettably, 2 remaining 2023 members of this City Council failed to heed my explicit caution and take corrective action. As recently as September 4th, 2025, I was informed by the Office of the City Attorney, White-Brenner LLP, that the agreement for the promotion of tourism from January 3rd, 2023 between the City of Angels and the Calaveras Visitors Bureau had still not been revised to ensure the accurate legal designation of the Calaveras Visitors Bureau. Nearly 2 years passed between my appearances before this council and September 2025 with no revision to the fraudulent agreement for the promotion of tourism. This afternoon, January 26, 2026 at 3:28 p.m., I emailed the city's legal counsel, Douglas White, of White-Brenner LLP, a public records request to discover if the January 3rd, 2023 agreement for the promotion of tourism between the City of Angels and the Calaveras Visitors Bureau had been revised since September 4th, 2025 to ensure the accurate representation of the legal designation of the Calaveras Visitors Bureau. It is alleged that the Calaveras Visitors Bureau committed fraudulent misrepresentation of its legal entity type by falsely entering into an amended agreement for the promotion of tourism with the City of Angels on July 1st, 2019, and again on July 3rd, 2023. Calaveras Visitors Bureau is a mutual benefit nonprofit corporation. It is not a nonprofit association as claimed. There is no innocent mistake here. There is only alleged negligence and intentional misrepresentation here. There is also alleged incompetence and malpractice by your legal counsel, White-Brenner LLP. The Calaveras Visitors Bureau converted its legal entity type with the State Attorney General's Office and the Secretary of State's Office from a nonprofit public benefit corporation to a nonprofit mutual benefit corporation effective July 12, 2021. Let's revisit the timeline now. On September 4th, 2023, I submitted a Public Records Act request to the City Attorney, White-Brenner LLP, for the executed amended agreement for the promotion of tourism entered into between the City of Angels, a municipal corporation, and the Calaveras Visitors Bureau, a nonprofit association, authorized by Resolution 23-02, unanimously approved by the City Council on July 3rd, 2023. In September 2023, upon its continuing inability to locate the missing executed amended agreement for the promotion of tourism from January 3rd, 2023, the City of Angels Administration and City Attorney, White-Brenner LLP, endeavored to recreate the document and obtain the required signatures to enact terms of the contract. This recreated contract was emailed to me by a representative of the City Attorney, White-Brenner LLP, on October 10th, 2023. The Calaveras Visitors Bureau representative and signatory of the most recent agreement, Calaveras Visitors Bureau Executive Director Martin Huberty, falsely affirmed the Calaveras Visitors Bureau legal entity type on that September 2023 agreement as a nonprofit association. I will leave you copies. In light of these facts, continued funding of the Calaveras Visitors Bureau by the City of Angels must necessarily cease until the Calaveras Visitors Bureau Corporation type is legally corrected and an amended agreement is drafted and voted upon. Failure to do so subjects the City of Angels to a formal external audit. My name is Christopher Buttner, publisher of CalaverasWatchdog.com, a government accountability blog. Thank you. Good evening.
Anyone else?